Hi guys, it's Jason K. Williamson and we're here with Jamie Stenhouse. We're going to be talking about outsourcing, episode 3 of Hustle Mode.
So how would you define the term outsourcing? What do you look at it as, and like how would you define outsourcing as opposed to a full-time employee?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the way that I kind of look at outsourcing is, it's a saying that I've always heard of, is consistency is the key to success. But I kind of think in this generation, you know, you kind of scratch that. It's consistently playing to your strengths is the key to success.
Yes.
So the way that I look at outsourcing is finding a way to allow yourself to play to your strengths.
Exactly. I mean, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs try to play every role, and while you have to, as you're launching out a new project, the quicker that you can hand off those annoying tasks that you probably hate doing as well.
Is procrastination.
Exactly. So if you're doing tasks that you don't enjoy, then you probably won't complete them as quickly as you would normally, and that slows down the clients, and that slows down the whole company growth as well. So in
100%.
outsourcing, you're able to obviously grow your company quicker because you have that team, but also because you're putting more time onto what actually grows a company, right?
100%. All right, Jamie, so what would be, let's say, your top 3 biggest points when it comes to finding yourself a top quality, top tier outsource? It's a good question. I mean, I've been outsourcing properly now for about a year. I've been using a HR company prior to this year for the last 2 years, and what I kind of look for is, I look for people who can solve a problem, because everyone can follow a task list, but are they able to think on the fly, and are they able to problem solve without me having to hop in? Because really, my clients pay for me to correct their problems, so I want a team that can, correct problems on their own as well. So I kind of see, well, can they solve problems on their own, and do they need me to hold their hands? I mean, obviously, when you hire a new person on your team, you do have to walk them through the processes, but you want them to really think on their toes as much as they can and to solve problems quickly, so you can hopefully let them work on their own as well. So you don't have to mother them or baby them. You don't have to come to you for every problem. You know that you can trust them with a task, because they can go ahead and get it
exactly, because you and me aren't trying to run a childcare center, right? Like we
100%.
We are trying to run a company. So like you need them to either, well, there's 2 ways you can approach it. The first way is that you hire someone to handle the children on your team if you have to, or you hire
supervisor.
Or you hire good people who can solve a problem quickly. So that's my first kind of approach for it. The next approach is just give people the sort of opportunity to perform, So whenever I hire someone, I don't give them template tasks that I put everyone through. I actually give them proper client work that could hurt me if they get it wrong, but it puts them into...
That's the risk you're taking as a business owner. You need to take that risk.
But I mean, I see entrepreneurs and friends, and even some clients have a sort of training task that they put everyone through, and it's not the real thing, right? Like, you need someone to be able to perform in the real thing. I mean, I know that it is good to not give a new employee a live client project, but it's good to see how they handle it on the fly. So I always like to give new people on my team live client work that it could go wrong, but I'm able to see how they are able to perform under pressure. 100%. And the third thing is communication. Are they happy to complain? Are they happy to bring up problems? Because if they're not, then there's going to be that sort of turbulence there that will cause problems in the future. So I want them to complain to me as much as possible. I want them to ask questions. I want them to ask for help, and in doing that as quickly as I can, I'm then able to set them free on their own, if you will.
100%.
So those are my 3 sort of key points in terms of how to hire someone for your team.
Awesome. So now I'm going to give you my top 3 tips in outsourcing. So my number 1 tip for outsourcing has to be just going with intuition. Intuition is probably one of the Sorry?
Yeah.
In terms of hiring.
Yeah,
I
hiring.
think in terms of just people. Like
Exactly,
getting a
yeah.
feel for who they are. And it's going back to exactly what you said, whether or not they're problem solvers, do they think on their feet? A lot
Can
of
they
the time,
communicate as well?
can they communicate?
Yeah.
A lot of the time that all leads to a little bit of your own intuition, because if they're not doing those things, you kind of get the feel for it.
You do,
and
immediately you do.
instantly.
You need to be able to read people as a entrepreneur, and especially if you're hiring. I mean, regardless of if you're doing work at the higher level or even if you have a team of 2 or 3, you need to be able to read people to a point that you can trust your actual intuition as to, well, you know, is this person capable of doing the task that I need them to actually complete?
100%. So the top tip there for that one for me would have to be developing a great intuition. And of course, you're not going to get it straight away, guys. Nobody gets it straight away. You will get a feel for it, but it's anything. It's like a muscle.
Side tangent, how do you grow a intuition quickly?
How do you grow an intuition? I really feel like it's taking the risk. It's
It
like
is
you
practice,
said,
isn't it?
it has to be just diving in, letting it happen, letting these mistakes happen.
Yes.
But then you start to realize, because you kind of
See the patterns. Yeah, exactly,
the
right.
mistake.
So just get into it and just see what happens. I mean, there's literally no. I mean, obviously, like you know, try to read as much as you can about how to hire, but it won't happen until you actually take the action and then begin to see how people interact through your company and through the other people on your team and also through your clients as well. But intuition plays a huge role in hiring as well. Like you
Yeah,
said.
it's a huge part of just HR, isn't it? You just gotta have a feel for people.
Yeah.
Not everybody has it, but you can develop it. I feel like it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
So my second point would have to be, do not micromanage them. I think there is no easier way to kill your. I think there's no easier way to kill the passion in somebody else's work than telling them how to do it. You know, like, have you ever been at work with your boss, let's say, and he comes up and he tells you every 2 seconds he's over your shoulder saying, hey, do it like this, do it like this, and you're just like, fuck off. I'm tired of it. Like, I don't like my job right now.
I think as long as they get the outcome, they can take any route they want, as long as it's in a reasonable time frame and things don't explode on the way. Then you know, as long as they get to the outcome, regardless of how they approach it, then they can do it however they want, and that comes from being a good problem solver, right? So here's
Goes back to it. Everything always comes back.
It does, right? So here's your endpoint. Get there any way you can. Solve the problem, but just get there in the end of it, you know?
100%. And that actually then leads me to my other thing, which is motivate them for the long term. So this is where everything again ties in, because if you can motivate them, and motivation's a big thing. I mean, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you should always be able to motivate people. I feel like it's a big thing. As a business owner, you got to understand
if it be
what
your team or like clients or leads, like you have to inspire people to take action.
You got to find their desire.
Yeah.
You got to know what they want in life to motivate them. So if you can motivate, especially for freelancers, especially for outsourcing, they don't get a lot of long-term work.
Yes.
So if you can motivate for them, that can encourage them to be lean. That can encourage them to do their best work. And let's be quiet for a second. It's gonna be loud. Alright, so as I say, encourage them for the long term, because it will create that sense of they will be leaner, they will work quicker, they work smarter, because they want to be there long term. Because some people only get short amounts of work, like, you know, they're only there for what, like a couple of hours and then they're gone. But if you can encourage the long term, they have more of a motivation, they have more of a purpose.
Agree, totally agree. I think you need to find out what your team wants, and if you are interviewing them, then, you know, like, try to ask them, like, what is their end goal, where do they want to be in the next 6 to 12 months, and try to help them along that journey as well. Like, as you were saying to me, like, you just hired a person who read the whole how-to manual for some app, right?
Yeah.
And like, he obviously wants to learn and he wants to work as well, so keep helping him learn and you'll probably hold on to him for a long time, right? 100%. So look what people want to take away from their role and try to help them to reach that quicker while doing the work for you as well.
I've been asked, how do people, you know, how do you pay them? Do you pay them by the hour? Do you pay them by the job? I had a couple more questions. I'll think of them, but what do you reckon to
payment?
Yeah.
Well, I've tried to pay them per project and per hour. Depends on what kind of work they are doing. So if they're doing a set project that, you know, has a beginning and an end, pay them for the project. if they're doing like little tasks every single day, pay them per hour, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
it depends on what kind of project you have at hand. I do mine per hour. I trust them enough, and one important thing that I cannot stress enough is that it helps out 10 times if you know how to do the thing yourself.
Yes.
Right, because then you can talk the language. So if whatever you're trying to outsource, and you know that skill, you know how long it takes, you know how to talk the language, right? And you know what to pay them because you know how to do it. I've seen entrepreneurs who get overcharged for little things that if they spent a week trying to learn, that wouldn't happen. They would know how long it would take. They would know how to do it themselves if there was a problem, right? So if you can, it's a painful process. Learn the thing that you want to outsource. And it sounds stupid, right? Because you outsource to not have to learn or to do it. But in learning it, you're able to talk the language, as I said, and you're able to also, you know, check the actual quality as they go, because
because you understand what you're expecting.
exactly. So it's annoying, and I'm sort of grateful that I know every task that I outsource. I know graphic, web, coding, all that stuff. So I know what quality and what it should look like. So I'm able to outsource really, really well because I can talk the language. So if you can learn the skill that you want to outsource, which sounds weird, but long term it makes perfect sense. Trust me.
Don't master it.
No, just know that.
So you know enough, like be a generalist, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. So
Not a
like,
specialist.
yeah, like just spend like 6 to 10 hours learning the overview of
I guess
it.
basics, foundations, and then you kind of know what you're expecting. You kind of got a good idea of what you need.
Exactly.
Instead of being,
So
I thought that was a good task to point out there. Like,
so
some people may be like, oh fuck, do I have to be a specialist now?
No, you don't. Like just learn enough to just get you through it. And
College applications go through the roof. Thanks, Hustle Mode.
That's it.
Thanks, Jamie.
So in terms of paying them, if you know the task at hand, then you're able to know how long it takes you, and then you're able to know how much to pay them, right? So I know what to pay my team because I know how long it takes. I assume my team is twice as slow as me, hopefully. So I sort of pay them accordingly, right? And it just helps to know the skill before you outsource. It totally does. Like, think of it like a coach for a sporting team. They know how to hopefully play the game if they're coaching the team, right?
You never have an AFL coach or a football coach going on the field going, hey, left back stands here and right back goes there, and they're all going, dude, that's not even the right game.
Yeah.
Like,
and also,
speaking the language.
Look in corporate, a lot of the top guys climb through the ranks. They know the ins and outs of the whole company, right? And
100%.
You gotta take that same approach when you're outsourced. As annoying and tedious, and as much as you hate it, it's so crucial to the growth of your company.
It is. And also, one of the points that I want to bring out as well is, okay, this is a good question for you, because I won't lie, guys, I'm probably one of the laziest entrepreneurs you will ever meet.
Excellent.
I hustle a lot, but I don't like doing tedious tasks all the time. So like, I've had a natural gift to be able to delegate everything that I do. I'm quite happy to. I am not a micromanager. I will allow somebody to go do what they need to do, and I'm quite happy to let somebody do it. But for those that struggle to allow delegation, those that are micromanagers, what would you say?
Unplug your internet. Like, literally outsource, give them the whole task, give them the screenshots, give them the how-to clips, and just walk away. Like, that is the only thing that I can say that would help. Or preoccupy yourself with other work that you actually enjoy, so that you're not watching over their shoulders as they try to complete it. And if you are trying to micro handle them, then you have to really go back and ask this sort of question as to, well, why is that? Why aren't you confident in their skills? Why aren't you confident in your outsourcing? What is the incongruency there? And work out that.
What is the missing link? Reverse engineer it and then try and fill that gap.
Exactly. So, is it because you didn't outsource correctly? Is it because you had problems last time? If you had problems last time, what caused that? Right? Look at what is causing you to not trust your team, or that is causing you to lean over their shoulders as they work. Because usually it happens from a previous, from what has happened in the past, or uncertainty in the task that you've outsourced as well.
Yeah, 100%. Great points. A lot of people always ask me, what's your favorite outsourcing? Mine has
the old Upwork. Which used to be Odesk, right? Odesk, yeah. I love Upwork as well. It's a very easy to use platform. In terms of giving out tasks to your team, do you use the Upwork platform, or do you use your own project management software?
Yeah, so actually that brings me to a very important point.
Excellent.
That's actually brought me onto a great little tangent. Not a lot of people do this, but I do. I get them straight onto Skype. I jump on Skype with somebody straight away because it opens the communication, as you were talking about. If somebody's happy to jump on Skype with me instantly, they're happy to openly communicate.
Yeah.
It gives me confidence in them immediately. And another point as well, which I am known for, I'm savage for, I will cut people like that.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. Like,
It's business. It's not personal.
It's like you have to. Well, do you give them a chance to like redo the work, or like are you just brutally just cut them immediately?
It really depends on how it happened.
Yeah.
If like it's the first time we're like having a little meeting, you know, like the first time you want to chat about the project, and they say, hey, I'll be there in 15 minutes, half an hour later they rock up, gone.
Yeah, that
Bang.
That isn't not ideal.
It really depends, I think. It really depends on how they stuff up. But
Yeah.
a lot of the time, I will get rid of them instantly. It's only if I feel like they didn't care.
Yeah, got it. Understood.
And it comes back to that intuition and knowing their intuition.
Yeah, that's it.
It just comes back to it.
For me personally, if the task isn't completed correctly, I blame myself, and then I go, okay, well, was the process outlined correctly? Were there the right screenshots, the right tools? Was everything there for them to hopefully do it correctly?
Yes.
Then I review it all. If I think it makes sense, and usually it does, hopefully, then I go, okay, well, maybe it is them who isn't doing it right. So then I would talk to them and go, okay, well, what was wrong here? Which part didn't you understand? And that comes down to communication. Like, if you have that opportunity to actually talk to them and figure out, well, how can I help you to help me? You know, so it's kind of
100%.
like, if they do not follow the process correctly, then I will cut them. But I usually try to help them to follow the process if they can, you know, or I will change how I outline the actual project so that I can keep them on board, because hiring is good fun, but ideally you just want the work done. Like
100%.
We don't hire for the enjoyment of like new team member, you know, like you
Had
know,
a conversation with
that's
someone
it.
different.
Like we
Had a conversation
hire
from Venezuela. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
like we
Job done.
hire to keep them on our team. So
Yeah.
usually you want to try to help them to remain on the team for as long as possible. So if I can help them to work through whatever problem they have, that's great. But usually after the second or third time, if there's that same problem there, they're gone, and it's annoying because then I have to go and hire all over again. But I give, you know, 2 chances, maybe 3 if they're lucky. But if it's the same problem again and again, then either your outsourcing role, which is usually very rare because you should know the job you're outsourcing, or it's a person who you're hiring.
I think why it comes to me with being savage is I feel like one of my key strengths is I have great intuition in people. I feel like I can read people very, very well. It's one of my things. So I think I'm pretty savage with it because I know from the first fuck up that I'm like, I get that feeling straight away that they don't
can tell.
So, see ya.
If I'm honest, the people who I have let go, my intuition said they're probably not right from the first day.
100%.
But I've been like, let me try to mold them into the perfect little version of like me, and the mold has turned out really ugly. So, you know, so they're now not a part of the agency, and that's fine. But we usually hire to hire rather than hire to fire, right? So that's how I like to look at it. Sorry, mate.
I don't have any cash on. Sorry, brother.
It's alright. All good.
I don't have cash.
What else is there?
Feel bad.
Huh?
I had a pretty good point.
Yeah.
I've got a really good one. Is people, again, it all comes back to everything. It's intuition again, but one of the things that I think is one of the most important is to go through their already prior work and try to match whether or not it's congruent with you, your brand, or your client's brand.
Yeah.
Because it's easy, for me, it's easy to go through and recognize patterns in somebody's work, whether or not it's going to be congruent with your brand. And I just had this with a graphics designer.
Yeah.
He was a good friend of one of ours, and he, I looked at his work and I said, he's not going to work.
Yeah,
I can see it right now that he just doesn't have what our brand has.
Graphics is a very tedious thing to outsource.
I think anything creative.
Yeah, which is interesting because when I hire and when I outsource, I don't allow creative freedom, which sounds really weird. I know in growing a team you should allow that, but I don't believe in creative freedom for my clients and my agency. So yours could be a little bit different.
Yeah, because mine is like creative freedom, but in a ballpark.
Yeah, got it.
It's
Yeah,
kinda like,
cool.
you know,
so
hit this target.
for the people who have one product that kind of gets duplicated, like we have for the agency, you want to not have training programs, but very clear processes that anyone could hop into the role and complete, right? But for your more creative work, you do have to look for that flair, and you have to look to see if they're flexible enough so that if they do not have it, then they can learn how to get it, you know, very, very quickly as well.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we're gonna recap real quick. So what was probably the top 5 or 6 points was we had intuition in there.
Yep, to like know if the person is correct before you hire them.
Just having that feel.
To have a clear communication, so if there are problems, they can openly talk to you about it very quickly.
And then the third point was knowing
the actual skill, which is, I think, for me personally, was a big helper for me. So try to learn the thing you want to outsource because it's a lot easier for you to actually do it.
Yeah. And finding patterns in people's work so you know whether or not it's going to work for you before you even dive into it and spend all your precious time.
Exactly.
There's that. And number 5 or 6, I don't know what number we're at. That's fine, I can't count. That was to not micromanage.
Yeah, crucial part.
Delegate.
Yeah, that's it. Like you're outsourcing, you're not trying to manage. There's a big difference, right? You should be growing the company, not trying to manage your team every single day or every single hour as well.
100%.
Cool.
That's a wrap.
I like
that was dope, dude.
That was good. That was really
Thanks.
good, man. That was some good content. I love like free flow. It was so good.
Yeah, how good is it?